sometimes you just make a doo-doo on accident, man.
That's true. It happens.
What?
This song is so tight.
You ever had like an emergency where like you attempted to fart and then like your education was the thing that held back the mistake that was about to happen?
Yeah, the steel doors, it's like, in the movies where the bank's getting robbed and they hit the button and the steel doors just come up and like, boom. That's how it is. You gotta be very cautious sometimes. You never know.
Yeah, I feel like that's like all like like my pride and my education and like everything that I've built throughout the years just shuts down my butthole. It's like,
Yeah.
nope, no more.
I don't
Nope,
think it's your education though, you dipshit. I think it's more your experience.
No,
Shitting your pants in the past.
everything that you've ever experienced throughout life.
True.
Just close your butt right
But
there.
you definitely don't learn that in school. That's
You
dumb.
They should teach that in school.
Yeah,
Well,
they really should.
Unless you're one of those kind of people that have mistakes in school.
Yeah, never fart when you have diarrhea. Never. Rule number
Oh
2.
my god.
Rule number 2.
Stupid. Oh god.
What were you gonna say during the intro?
I was talking about how awesome Best Buy's exchange policy is and
Go
why.
ahead, because I like this song.
Okay, cool. So like, my PS4 is defective. I took it back. It was 40 days after I purchased it. So it was like I was really concerned they weren't going to take it, and I would have to go through Sony directly. But since it was just an exchange, they said like, yeah, okay, no problem. And I asked them how come that's the case, but it doesn't say that anywhere. They said because it's new, Sony still covers it. Like Sony and these other manufacturers, they'll cover it for a certain amount of time, like 3 months or 6 months, and they basically pay these stores like Best Buy to do the exchanges for them.
Cool.
Yeah, very cool. That was it.
What did you say?
Yep.
What's
Hope
up,
your
internet? How's it going? Close your buttholes,
Mm-hmm.
cause
It's education.
Yeah, that's some good education from Ricksta. Close your buttholes. All 3 of us have gas today. That has been confirmed before the show, so you're in for a good one. It's Thursday. You're watching ATP Live. My name's Eris, and I'm joined. First of all, Rip's here again, but that's like he's been around a couple times. That's no big deal. Ricksta is back though. I mean, that's
Wait,
the
what?
thing. Yeah, Ricksta's
Yeah,
back. You've been
Eris.
gone 2 episodes. What's up?
Yeah, see, 2
Has it
episodes.
only been 2 episodes?
Mhm.
I feel like he's been gone for like 5.
Right? I mean, I'm telling you, I got a really big handful of people complaining, and then I got a reasonable sized handful of people celebrating. They're like, damn, Ricksta's gone, fucking confetti and shit. But
I should have listened. We should listen to those guys, the ones that want me off the show.
what are you talking about, man? This show cannot go on without you, man, and your little orange sippy cup. I mean, how could we how could we go on without that?
This is little.
Well, I mean, it's little to most of us, but to you, it looks gigantic.
Damn, you set yourself up for that one.
I
right?
know, really. That
That
was a
was so
banana
easy.
peel. That was a banana peel. Anyway, how's it going, gentlemen? You guys doing all right, I hope? Nothing new? Cool. Sounds good. So what are we talking about today? Is there anything going on? Nothing, huh?
It's a good show. All right. See you next week.
Peace.
Rick's promised that during tonight's show, he's going to hit the restroom at some point. So let's see. Rip called him out, too. He was like, you always say that, and you never deliver. So let's see if...
First off, I don't always say it, and second off, I'm very poor under pressure.
It's pickup only. Ricksta does not deliver. It's dine-in or carry-out only. Gross.
Very gross.
Anyway, so we got Master Cup to talk about. Is that it? Oh yeah, that's one thing. We're gonna talk about that later. Master Cup official videos started coming out on their official YouTube channel. So those of you who did not get to watch the Master Cup stream, it was like 17 hours, and Markman did commentary and stuff. I think the videos that are out on this channel, which is called Master Cup EC, I think those videos are the Japanese side, but I'm not sure. I don't know. I haven't really followed myself, but I know they're coming out. I know Wonky's been posting up stuff about this, and I know that the guy who, the guy who runs it, Masa Karijin, that guy's a really cool dude, and he really wants people from America to know about his tournament and, care about his tournament. He's brought that up many times. He's hit me up on Twitter many times. Like, he wants to reach out to the Western world, and I think that's really cool because you don't really get that a lot from, Japan and Korea, though. in recent years you have seen that, but it's not really common for them to be like, hey, look at this, we want an American stream, we want, to get involved with the, US. And it seems cool that he's trying to unify just everyone who likes Tekken. So I like the attitude, and I like to support his YouTube channel. So check it out if you're interested. Lots of good matches. I doubt any one of us three has watched any of them, but
I actually watched. No, I actually watched something about the tournament. It was just how they made the top 8 bracket. I always thought that was interesting.
Care to share?
You it's not like how they do it before, or like in like Evo or any normal tournament. When you get to top 8, the bracket's already made. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But in top 8 for Master Cup, they've always done a drawing. And so you're the first team. It's a blank bracket, and you get to put your name wherever, right? And then the second team comes up, and they get to put their name wherever. So basically everyone kind of gets to choose where they go in the bracket, except for so they can choose where the matchups. So it's pretty interesting to see like how everyone tried to avoid Team Korea.
Yeah.
And so like the first 4 teams all put the name on the top half of the bracket. There was two Japanese teams put the name in the top half. And then Genkid's team looked at the team list and saw like who played what characters and who was on what team, and they're like, okay, we gotta play this team because we can beat them. Rather than like going into the bottom half where it's empty, but they're like, we'll probably play Team Korea if we go down there. Then Nobi's team went up next, and they were like, hell no, we're not going down there. Let's go up here. and so Korea was on the bottom half with no one else. So it was crazy, but I like the little mind games and strategy that go involved in that.
Do you think that that's the better way to go when it comes to picking a top 8? Because they're definitely, that's like completely different. I don't know if it's better or worse in my mind. I don't know all the consequences of doing it that way just by hearing you say it once. But in my mind, it feels like I don't know, the integrity of the tournament definitely is in some way affected.
The only thing that's going to suck about it is for the team that's first or the team that's last, because they don't get to choose who they play against, obviously.
Well, who decides who goes first?
It's just random. That was the thing. It's a random draw, So like if Team Korea went first, they would have put their name wherever, and then the next 4 teams would have put their names on the opposite side of the bracket to make sure they don't play them,
Right.
And I guess the integrity, it's a little bit messed up, but it's still strategy involved there. It becomes a mind game that as tournament players, for us, we've never had to deal with, unless you're colluding and all that stuff.
Well, in team tournaments, that sounds kind of familiar because, when you see the team you're up against, you kind of construct your order, and that's kind of similar in a sense, but this is like bracket, manipulation. But
it's not necessarily manipulation. It's almost like giving yourself the higher seed, trying to give yourself the best chance to win. So you just look at the matchups and just realize, this is probably the team we have the highest chance to beat, at least the first round. So let's go there. And they could, if the random drawings happen so that like the Korean team was like the 7th team and like Nobi's team was the 8th team, they would have played the first round most likely. So there's things like that.
What are your thoughts? Oh, go ahead, Rip.
No, I was thinking. This really only affects things if second and third place also get prizes, right? Because if you're just trying to win the tournament, then you're just trying to get to the finals as easy as possible. But you still got to beat everyone, right?
Pretty much, yeah. It's just basically
third. Then you place yourself in the opposite side of Korea, right?
I don't know.
Well, I assume every team there was trying to win, so it doesn't matter. Plus there is no third place in a single elimination tournament.
Oh yeah, good point. What about the idea of doing this draw straws, pick your place in the bracket from the beginning of a tournament? Is that something that's unheard of?
In the beginning of a tournament, a big tournament.
Well, okay. Let's say it's like a invitational, right? Let's say we do like an 8-man invitational, draw straws, or let's say 16-man invitational, draw straws to create the bracket. How fucked up would that be? Is that even something that's conceivable?
If it'd be interesting just to see how it's done. Cause then let's say you draw straws, right? It's a big Street Fighter tournament. Justin Wong is 15th and Ricky Ortiz is 16th.
Yeah.
It's like, do you know what's gonna happen then? They might be forced to play each other because shit happens like that. So.
I don't know. It's an interesting idea, and I think we've been doing these double elim tournaments for so long. Maybe Who's to say we can't do some kind of new idea like that? I don't see it. Why not? I like the concept at this juncture, and the tournament turned out to be dope. Speaking of which, and we talked about this last week, the Master Cup tournament was basically the big highlight was Johnny D, Zhang Diding. He pretty much pulled through with Capos, like kicking the shit out of everybody, right? And then a couple days later, buzz got around to me about this tournament called, what is it, TXT?
Yeah.
And allegedly, Saint went to this tournament and got wrecked by Abel and maybe Abel again or someone else. Do we know?
I don't even know where this tournament was held. I mean, it's just kind of.
It's
Bolivia?
Bolivia. They actually invited me to go to the tournament, but they were like, "Yeah, we can't send you here or anything, but we would like you to come here." And
There's
I
a
was
seat. There's an open seat for you, right?
yeah,
here.
I'm thinking to myself, first of all, what is Bolivia? I gotta look this up, you know. So I don't know. I heard of the tournament. I didn't get to watch it yet, but I heard that Saint got beat up, and I heard that Abel is a Capos player. I hope the chat room can. Here we go. Abel and Sapito are the two guys that beat him, and I heard that Abel won and that he's a Capo player. I haven't seen the matches myself, but that was the buzz. Now, this is another major tournament in which Capos are, dominating, and in this case, we had Saint, who is the world champion, losing. What are your thoughts on this? Is it Capos? Is it clones? Or, I mean, we have to admit, Saint has been almost losing to some shitty players lately, if you know what I mean. So, what does this mean to you guys? What do you think, Ricky? He's your hero. What do you think?
First off, he's not my hero.
You always say that
hero.
every time I say that. That's why I say it. Go ahead.
Well, when you said shitty players, were you talking about yourself?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Fuck you. I was talking about you. Go ahead.
I never played him.
Yeah, but you're shitty. Go
I don't
ahead.
know. I'm not sure. Like, because since I didn't see it, I assume he played Ganyu Bob, right? But
I don't know.
from what I've seen in like Korean videos, like lately, like I don't see him playing that team almost ever. Like before Strong Style, we heard that he was mainly only playing Capos.
Right.
Right.
That's what I had heard too.
And then like after that, like I saw him playing like Eddie Bob for a little bit, and then he went back to random teams again. It seemed like. So I don't know if he's really comfortable with his team still, or if he's just not sure how to deal with Capos. Maybe that's the reason why he picked up Capos in the first place, was because he didn't know how to deal with them. So maybe it's just a bad matchup for him. I mean, it's weird to hear about it, but I mean, at the same time, I don't know about these players. I know they're good, obviously. So
Hey, this is a wild idea, but what do you guys think of pulling up the match and watching it?
right now, can you find it and then link it to us?
Well, the chat room will at least be able to help us out, right? Anyway, continue, Rick. But if the chat room has the match for the grand finals, or maybe the grand finals isn't even with Saint.
No, it's not, because he
Okay,
got
so
fifth.
He got fifth or
gotcha.
something, yeah.
Does anybody have the match between the Capo player and Saint available on YouTube? If you do, throw it on the chat room and I'll click it and we can watch it. Because I haven't seen it myself and we're talking about it without fucking seeing it, so might as well
Yeah, we
see
should
it,
do
right?
that.
I'm
The
down
other
with that.
guy, the other guy who beat Saint is Sapito, and he's a Ling Lei player. That's what the chat is saying.
Wow, fucking scumbag player, huh? I like that. I like that. Poor
But it's
Saint. He goes.
Oh, I see a
Alright.
lot of links.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Lots of links. Oh God,
just from-
I just banned someone. It moves so fast.
Boy.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
it is here.
So, so it's funny. The YouTube video is a capture of the Twitch video.
And his
Pretty good.
whole desktop and all this shit, huh? Okay, well, whatever.
there we go.
Oh, man,
Whoever.
there's gonna be a porn link in the middle of it. Watch.
I hope not.
He's gonna actually alt tab into like Pornhub.
Is this going to be 17 minutes?
Yeah, dude.
Okay, I'm muting this shit. Let's watch it. Fuck it. Can you guys watch it too?
I just started it.
I mean, but yeah, we have to know what part of the video you're at.
Okay, let's go to right here at 44 seconds. And then on the count of 3, we'll play.
I just heard the
Hold on.
commentary. It sounded very crazy. It sounded like a soccer game in there.
Yeah, I know. Are you guys watching the TXT Bolivia 2014 Abel Peru whatever Completo? Are you watching the Completo one?
Yes,
Okay.
Completo.
44 seconds. You guys there?
Yeah.
Hold
wait,
on, I'm at
do we,
45.
do we press play when you say 1 or when you say go?
There's no go. I don't know who the fuck started that shit.
So how does it work?
Oh,
Tell me when the click is. Is it like 3, 2, click?
On one. On
So 3,
Say,
one.
2,
just say click.
right?
Say click.
Yeah.
Say
when you want
click
to click,
instead of one or
Well,
whatever.
if you're waiting to hear the word click, that means you're reacting to the word instead of reacting to
Okay,
the
so it's
rhythm
on
of
one.
the. Yeah, on one. 3.
Okay,
two,
go
but
for it.
not this 3-2. That was an example.
Okay,
ready?
my bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Okay. There we
That
go.
was so confusing.
Yeah, it was difficult. Anyway, I got the sound off, but let's
Mm-hmm.
make it like a little bit low. Here we go. Oh, Spanish commentary? I like that. I got to learn how to do that. Is that
You
Spanish?
do that.
Oh, maybe it's Portuguese? Nope, it's Taiwanese.
No sidestep.
If it's Portuguese, it sounds a lot like Anderson Silva and Respect.
I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah, but Saints
know
did pretty well
respect.
first round.
I'm just watching you guys commentate.
What?
Go ahead.
It's not our job.
No, I know.
Yeah. I'm here to watch.
I know.
Yeah, whatever.
I mean, this guy looks decent. I mean, doesn't look shitty.
Right, I
obviously,
mean,
like
I'm not
like
really
how you
seeing what's
said.
going on. You know, in my experience, and I mentioned this on my stream earlier, but traveling, I don't want to turn this commentary down because I don't even know what he's saying, but traveling across the world to compete is really hard to do. I mean, Rip and I have done that, and it's just really very, very difficult. And you know, he's the kind of guy where I think it's better when he has amigos with him. Because even I myself at Strong Style, when I played him, I felt like he was nervous because he was alone. Like there was no one on his side that was really like helping him out, just in terms of moral support. And I don't know. I mean, that could be the explanation as well as, you know, what Rixta said. And on top of the fact that this player, I mean, look at what's going on here. Saints up 2 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
There must be a big turnaround at some point.
Right.
You also did say though, you know, the Amigo thing, and I think the only match he had at Master Cup he lost, and he had all his amigos there. He had like
Right.
10 Koreans there.
However,
But he also didn't play all day.
right, the Master Cup situation
Yeah,
was
I understand that one.
17-hour tournament or something, and he didn't get to play until the 17th hour. So, and it's a
I also
single
heard
game.
he was sick.
Yeah, whatever, excuse city. But it was single game, and, you know, that one is very understandable. But this is 2 out of 3, and I think Saint won the first match. So, at some point...
3 out of 5, considering how long this thing is.
Oh, you think it's 3 out of 5?
Gotta be.
Dude, it goes all the way till 17 minutes. Is it 4 to 7? Jesus Christ, how long
What the
is
hell
this?
is this? I just noticed how long the video is. There's no way we're going to watch all this crap.
But if we do this, though, it's a good way to fill the show that we have no topics about.
We have a ton of topics.
We have a lot of topics, yeah.
Like
I don't
how
know.
Saint got his ass kicked by this guy.
Man, how the fuck did Saint get his ass kicked by this guy?
He started off so strong.
He's got Johnny D at home.
Yeah. Maybe he also gets his ass
What's
by
the
Johnny
D stand for?
The ding.
The ding, yeah.
Wait, what are you?
That's not Johnny Double D?
No,
No.
it's the ding.
That was a cool combo.
I mean, he seems like he's really good. I don't know. Maybe he was nervous.
Boom.
Don't ask me. I've already lost interest.
Yep.
You too?
Yep.
So what's his name again? Abel?
Abel de Maestro.
Ooh, I
He's a
like
maestro,
that name.
dude.
I like that name. He's a maestro. I like that name. Maybe we should get him on the show.
That works.
You should speak
English?
Spanish to him.
Damn, I gotta work. Damn, a whole
him
podcast
about
in
Spanish.
Spanish. I think I might have to work on that. Entire podcast in Spanish. I like it.
Whoa, that combo was sick.
I'm not even watching anymore.
He's wrecking them, dude.
What? Should I still be watching?
He already turned it around, yeah.
I know, it's 2-0 Maestro,
Wow.
man.
Well, I closed it.
Oh
Dude,
my God.
I bet you nothing's going on. I bet you they closed it too. They're just talking shit.
No,
Nope.
I'm still watching it, actually.
Yes. 2-1 rounds now. Then bringing it back.
I
Scoops.
want to watch it too.
Oh, now you want to watch it,
Oh.
huh?
You guys, I'm feeling left out. What seconds
Need
are
your
you at?
amigos.
I know, dude.
Five.
Now you know how Saint feels like when he goes to a tournament in Bolivia.
Dorito bag. What's the timestamp, shithead?
Double
508,
Ds.
509,
Okay,
510.
I'm going 508.
14, 15,
15.
16,
Oh, God.
17.
Fuck
Don't,
you.
don't you realize
18,
time moves
19.
forward?
Keep fucking talking. Boom, 19.
Dude, you're still
24,
like you're still like
25.
5 seconds
Man.
behind.
Okay, I got it. I'm gonna go to
29,
40. I'm at 40.
40.
31,
Now you're 10 seconds
32.
ahead of us.
No
You're
way.
an idiot. All right,
This is
fuck, I'm not
perfect.
gonna watch this anymore.
You don't want to watch it anymore?
No.
What the fuck? I was watching
no.
it.
It's not interesting anymore.
Man, this guy's watching this shit on his cell phone or what? There's like the worst fucking quality here.
He's
He's
recording
probably-
it.
These
He's
combos are
recording
sick,
it with
by
it
the
with
way.
his capture card off of Twitch. And you know these like no offense to any foreign countries, but their streaming capabilities have really
They have rigged the internet.
The technology
Yeah,
has not
pretty
reached.
no, it's not even like like UT. That tournament looks like it's captured off of a fucking
God.
Razer Motorola. You have Japan like barely caught up, and they're still behind in that sense too. I think.
Yeah, I mean the whole Twitch overlay streaming concept is still new, I think, to a lot of countries. The U.S. is definitely spearheading that movement. That's for sure.
But this one actually like at least considering the format and all that, it's nice. It's just the internet quality. Maybe it's just Twitch video that's bad. Maybe the quality of the stream was better.
Yeah, or maybe he's capturing it in a shitty quality, like not source. That's
Yeah.
possible too. I don't know.
Because I mean, this is a guy recording it from Twitch on.
He just paused the
Big YouTube.
video on Twitch. Oh boy, this guy's like ripping it off too. What?
He's skipping ahead,
So-
man. He recorded it from the
so-
archive.
Someone messaged him on Skype. He has to stop everything real quick. You don't want to record it again.
Sweet.
Whoa, what is that in his desktop? I want to rewind now.
Oh god, now we're all gonna be at different times.
Whatever. Who gives a shit? We could leave the match while we talk about the rest of the shit we were gonna
Alright,
talk about.
Do it.
So what the fuck else were we gonna talk about?
Tekken 7 trailer came out.
Oh yeah, you were telling me some shit about Jinpachi's name in the trailer.
Yeah, Ricky, take it
So
away.
it's- What? I don't know shit about it. All I know, I saw a picture Flying Wonky put up, and I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
That's all I saw too.
Well, I don't know what you saw.
So in the trailer,
Don't you follow Wonky?
No,
Does
I don't
Wonky run
even
your
like
website?
that guy. I'm kidding, obviously. Shout out
He
to
wasn't
Wonky.
kidding.
I love that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Man, he talks
is
so much
that
shit
supposed
about
to
Wonky
mean?
when the stream turns off.
Yeah, as soon as the stream's off,
Yeah.
that fucking Wonky, I'm gonna get that motherfucker. Of course I like Wonky. That guy's a hero. Anyway, so what about it? There was a
So there's-
trailer. We could show that too. All right, I'm gonna pause this crap, and let's show
Yeah.
this arcade trailer.
Yeah, so there's a part in it where like these like I don't know what they are. They're like templates that have names and stuff. They're all in Japanese, so I don't know what they are, right? But Wonky translated some of them, and the names on those cards that went by, they had like Jinpachi, and I think also Bruce was in there. Is there any
Really?
other characters, Ricky? Yeah, those are the two ones that we know. There was other ones that were really weird, like I want to say female Mishima or something like that. I don't know. There's something strange about it. There's weird names like that as well.
So do you guys think that it's actually them saying something, or do you think that it's an oversight, like whoopsie daisy, like the way fucking Miharu was in the guide, or do you want to fucking? I mean, like, what is the explanation to this? Is this an Easter egg? Is this a hint? Are the characters back? Jinpachi with a super? Ew, and armor moves? Ew.
How did he have armor?
Damn, reverse hug has armor and you could charge it.
Yeah.
Oh. Tekken 7. Ugh. It doesn't even
Well,
sound. Go ahead.
No, it's weird because some of these things, like the name, like where those names showed up, like it says something Bruce. I can't read the kanji, and then Jinpachi something. I assume that's
Jinpachi is dead.
Mishima.
There will be no proof.
actually no, that's not. That can't be Mishima. They would put that first. But then like there's other ones like this one says like it also says Yoshi, but that's in like English, right? It's not in Japanese. There's another one that says samurai, and it's like okay, what the fuck's a
What
samurai?
does that mean?
Yeah, so it's like in the same.
player names.
Yeah, but I mean,
Player
if it's just player names, then it's just Jinpachi and Bruce is there as a placeholder player name. Like maybe it's just one of those things where it's like, oh look, this guy Bruce playing Law or something. And it doesn't say anything about the characters, but
Paul the Jack player who plays Bruce. I like that. That's a real player. There's a guy named Paul the Jack player, and he plays Bruce. I'm not kidding. I like that. I like that name a lot. Mix Up City. So, I mean, this shows network capability stuff, I presume. I don't know what all this stuff means. I watched it, too. I like the song. The game itself doesn't look... I mean, it looks like it's in higher resolution. It looks better, like it's coming along. What's
Yeah,
up,
that
Rick?
was one thing they did. In this trailer, they released it on YouTube at 1080p 60 frames per second,
Mm-hmm.
which is interesting because I don't know if that's a hint that the game is going to run at 1080p 60 frames per second, because a lot of games don't run at 1080p on next gen systems still. And some people are saying that the graphics in it aren't that impressive. And if it's running at 1080p 60 frames per second, that's probably why.
Explain that further for those of us who
Look,
don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
so on current gen consoles, they support, like, say, PS3, PS4.
Mm-hmm.
They support 1080p resolution, but the consoles aren't powerful enough to handle it. So
Okay.
to go from 720p to 1080p, it requires a lot more power. So for instance, Grand Theft Auto 5 on PS3, PS4 was 720p, and it like was not even stable. It was like at 30 frames per second or something barely.
Right. Yeah, I think
And
so.
so now on next gen, they're going to 1080p, but they still can't do 60 frames per second. So they're going 1080p at 30 frames per second on it. So basically, it requires a lot more processing power to get 1080p at 60 frames per second, and very, very few games are doing it. So if they're able to do 1080p at 60 frames per second, you're not going to see a massive increase in like probably polygons.
Textures and shit like that,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Right. So the game's going to look more similar to what we had before, but it's going to be able to run at a higher resolution with the same frame rate.
So Tekken Tag 2 does not do 1080p, right? That's 720,
Right, 720.
60 frames. And has any fighting game ever had 1080p 60 frames per second? I don't think so.
I don't know if Mortal Kombat X is trying to do it.
Oh man, if
And
it
I also don't know
does,
about
ahead,
Guilty Gear.
I think Guilty Gear, that was the whole point. PS3 is 720, but PS4 is 1080.
wow, really?
Yeah.
And then of course your monitor has to support it, right?
Right, but most of our monitors, like if we have an Asus monitor, they're all 1080p already. We just don't have
Really?
games that are running on it. Right. And also, interesting to note, most monitors have less lag at their native resolution. So at 1080p on your Asus monitor, you have less lag than at 720p on your Asus monitor.
No shit, that's good news. I mean,
Yeah.
that's good news if they end up making it 60 frames per second 1080p, which I still
Exactly.
think is really unlikely considering how these AAA titles that are coming out, like the first thing they announce after the title comes out, like in the trailer is, sorry, 720p, 30
Yeah.
frames per second, even though it's on PS4, everyone could go fuck themselves, and the PC version is coming out 6 months later. Everybody fuck you. So it's like, I don't know. If they do it, I'll be really shocked because it's very rare, even for any type of game, let alone a fighting game, to do it. So,
Right, and Mishima Style in the chat just said, I think 1080p is only for videos and pictures. And they've done that in the past where they put out pictures at a higher resolution than the game, but it's pretty rare to see video of the game running at a higher resolution of frame rate than it's going to be released at.
there's no way that this trailer that was released, the trailer itself could be 1080p 60 frames per second, but the game it's showing is not 1080p 60 frames per second. Is that
They
possible?
They could do that, yeah. So they may
Okay.
have done that, but it's unlikely. Like, because if they were running at 720p at 60 frames per second, then they should have just released it on YouTube at 720p 60 frames per second.
True, I guess. I don't know. I mean,
The only
it's-
reason you would do that on YouTube is to get a higher bit rate, because 1080p videos they have a higher bit rate, so it'll still look better, even though it's still 720p. So they may have done that. I just don't think that they usually do that.
Yeah, I guess it's up in the air. I mean, I'm hopeful. I think everyone is hopeful. I
Yeah.
think overall, when a game is like, how we mentioned how it's not going to have that many textures and polygons and shit. But overall, let's say we had a package that was the comparison were 720p 60 frames per second with a bunch of textures and polygons versus 1080p 60 frames per second and maybe not that many textures and polygons. What's going to look better?
I just remembered there is a 1080p 60 frame per second game on PS3. It's Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection.
Really?
Yeah, because I remember when that first came out, I was running and I was like, "Holy God!" Like, 'cause, it's super widescreen and shit, and like I had a 1080p brand new TV at the time, so I was like really freaking out about it. But we were playing on a laggy ass TV.
Yeah.
But that game obviously it looked like DR still, even though it was at 1080p. So it didn't
Yeah.
look very impressive. And so imagine that on a PS4. It's probably the same kind of idea.
I actually thought that DR still looked quite impressive even after Tekken 6 came out. So I do.
PS3, you mean?
Yeah, PS3. I'm talking about PS3, but I do remember that. So I don't know. I don't know how much of a difference it will make to the naked eye, but I don't know. I think it's a lot more important for them to do things like add costumes and shit, as far as visually appealing, that kind of thing. Like textures don't matter, new costumes matter way more to
Yeah.
me. So I don't know. We'll see. Either way, sounds like a cool idea, and the fact that Guilty Gear XRD potentially has it on PS4 is good news to me. Like, it tells me that it's possible, at least, for it to happen. So we'll see. I'm excited.
Yeah, one more thing to note, Nick mentioned in the chat as well already as well. But Killer Instinct for Xbox One runs at 720p, 60 frames per second on Xbox One. They couldn't get it up to 1080.
Well, what do you mean they couldn't get it up to 1080? This is the
Like,
developer just like not able to make this work?
Well, I mean, they're trying to make it stable at that frame rate. You know what I mean? Like with all the stuff going on in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can put in all these extra features, but if the frame rate is like hovering from like 50 or 60 to 55, then it's gonna look like lag.
Yeah, it's gonna jitter.
Right. So instead of like saying, okay, like let's just aim for 30 instead, then we can put in more stuff at 30 frames per second as well.
But you can't do 30 for a fighting game, right?
Right. I'm saying so maybe okay, yeah, you're right. So I meant lower the resolution, not go to 30. Same idea. It's either you lower the frame rate or you lower the resolution.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Sounds cool. Anything to add to that? Anybody? Cool.
No, I'm just excited that Tekken's coming out.
Hey, am I going to have to get XRD? What is your forecast on that shit? Because people are telling me, hey, are you going to play XRD? I already bought my PS3 in the mail. I bought it from Groupon.
You keep calling it a PS3.
Yeah, it's a force of habit. PS4 in the mail. It's supposed to come in 7 days. I got a deal on it through Groupon for some like $368 or something shipped. So I'm really, really excited. I was telling everyone at the arcade that I got a PS4. I was telling them multiple times. It was really cool. Go ahead.
For you, I don't know because you're gonna have to buy a new stick or somehow get a new stick.
Yeah, I got an S on Markman's D and see if I could get one.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can play it on PS3.
Yeah, that's an option too.
That's the other option. And and you have to play Guilty Gear. I don't know. I don't know if you have that.
You don't believe in me? Are you gonna play? Because I will kick the shit out of you. That's for damn sure. For sure?
I'll play it. Yeah, I'm gonna buy it for sure.
Are you gonna buy it on PS3 or PS4, Rick?
PS3.
But can I play against you?
Oh, we can still play against them. Yeah.
All right.
Cross-platform.
Well, we'll see how that works. I guess I'll give it a whirl. We'll see how that
and
happens.
It's also Xrd, not XRD.
Well, whatever.
Xrd. Say it with me.
Japanese pronunciation of it.
You know how they pronounce it all crazy? Like it's not supposed to be Blaze Blue. It's like Blas Bleu.
Okay.
You know how they work over there in Japan.
Yeah, I do. They don't like two consonants next to each other. Voludo.
They also don't like being called Chop Chop.
Hey, Chop Chop. All right. Anyway, so what were the other topics we were going to talk about? There was a couple things, the Super Dojo things.
Oh, I had an idea about Tekken 7.
Oh yeah, so we were going to talk about Tekken 7. Go ahead.
Or did you want to talk about Super Dojo first?
We could wrap it up with that later.
Okay. So I woke up this morning. I had a thought about Tekken 7. They have these effects that they're doing, right? Like I was talking to Chet outside Super last night, and I was talking about how they have that zoom in effect on Steve's back one, right? And so back one looks really cool now. It alerts all of the the casual players, like, look at this, the camera's zooming in because this move is a launcher and it's awesome and it's a counter hit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it lets everyone know that. And so I was thinking, like, they should do like something like that for hop kicks and generic down forward twos. Like, because right now if you hit a hop, it's like, okay, he's got something happen. You know what I mean? Which is how Steve's back one looked in current and previous Tekken games. So I feel like when a hop kick hits, they should boom, zoom the camera into shit. You know what I mean? And put some sparks and shit. And same thing with down forward two.
You mean to emphasize the fact that the game really focuses on launchers?
No, just to emphasize that, like, this is an important thing that just happened. You know what I mean? To a casual watcher.
Huh. Well, I mean, I definitely like the idea of the camera being dynamic. The more dynamic, the better, as long as it's not actually during the actual fight. Like, I don't want it to be like cameraman's playing Dance Dance Revolution the whole time, But I like the idea. I mean, it was introduced in Tekken. Tekken introduced that idea, and now Street Fighter's stealing it. You know how, like, when you do a throw, the camera kind of is dynamic. It shows angles and stuff. And it's a great idea. They started more of that in Tekken 6 with the camera zoom-in type of thing with moves like Dragunov's forward 3 and stuff like that. On hit, the camera kind of shows this angle like, fuck, that hurt, whatever. So I think it's a decent idea. I don't know about it being for all hop kicks and down forward 2s, though, because, I mean, some down forward 2s, like, for example, Laws, they don't launch if he's crouching.
No, right. I'm saying if it launches. You know what I mean?
Oh, so it's like an indicator of the launcher. I don't see why not.
Right.
Nah.
Oh, Rixta doesn't like that shit. Thumbs down. What's wrong with the idea, Rixta?
Well, I mean, because the whole point of that zoom in thing wasn't to emphasize the fact that it was an important like launch or anything. It was to emphasize that it was a big clean counter hit just happened. Like they only really did that for like Paul's death fist and things like that. So if you did it for like first off, if you did it for every launcher, it would really emphasize the fact that, hey, look, oh damn, Saint just lost. It would really emphasize the fact that there's so many launches happening, and then people would watch it and be like, look at this, boom, boom, look at it, oh, another launcher, boom, look at this, another launcher.
Yeah.
And also the other thing too is that I don't like the fact that it's when you do something like that and the game slows down, it like gives you that assist of like, here's your hit, you need to hit confirm this, and look, boom, there's that big ass shit there. Now you
Yeah.
can do your combo.
Well,
This
I mean,
is small zooming then.
in
No
a sense
slowdown.
that does assist new players, right? Like, okay, there's the launcher, there's the
yeah, but
camera.
I mean, yeah, I don't think it's not necessary. I feel like.
I feel like if when people are watching Tekken right now, and they see it down for 2 or something, they're just like, okay, some shit happened.
I don't know, man.
You know what
I mean, the buzz on the street, a lot of people, they talk shit when a new Tekken gets announced, and everyone says, oh, I'm going to play this one for sure. I'm going to play this one for sure. Everyone who's in that boat that's like a Street Fighter player or whatever, they ask me, like, are hop kicks still the shit? Like, it seems like everyone knows that hop
Okay.
kicks are fucked up. And, I mean, people that watched Evo, Gen Kids, that guy was doing the hop kicks from downtown, three-point line hop kicks, and Bob's hop kick has a spark on it too. It's like a big hop kick. So I don't know. I feel like the general non-Tekken playing public really thinks that hop kicks are really buff. Ironically, most of the Tekken playing public also thinks that hop kicks are really buff. So I don't know. I don't think that we need to show people that hop kicks are buff. I think people know already. So that's not basically. I don't think it's a bad idea for that reason. I don't think it's a bad idea at all. I just think more things should have camera effects. That idea is good. More camera dynamic angle movement. Just the idea is good to make it more appealing aesthetically. Even that last hit slowdown idea that they have in T7. That's a brilliant idea, man. It adds so much hype. So.
Yeah.
I don't know. There are some things that really, like, when you talk about Tekken and you talk about new games coming out, there are some, oh man, just thinking about it really pisses me off. Some things that they haven't changed ever that drive me crazy, like delayed hop kicks. That's one thing that they really need to do something about. Delayed hop kicks will 9 times out of 10 whiff, even though you guessed right over a low. And that, I feel like, is so heartbreaking when it happens. I mean, it's like, hard read, you're too predictable, check this shit out, bitch, highest damaging low crush, and then boom, Link Xiaoyu's an Art of Phoenix or whatever after the low, and you're fucked, So, I don't know, that aspect of Tekken and those types of things where they haven't fixed them for a long time, those things bug me. Or even something like, the chickening system, how like when you chicken someone, it gives you like 23 or something points damage, and it leaves you at neutral flames. I mean, it's
Neutral
like,
frames?
yeah, it's like, I really don't like that idea. You should give the person chickening a very large reward, because the person who's doing the reversal on the other end, he's choosing an option that's for newbies. He's trying to not defend the real way. He's trying to guess at your attack and reverse it. This is not the
What if
case.
they did it on reaction though?
Okay, let's say they did it on reaction, but regardless, my point is that it is a defensive option that's outside of the traditional blocking and defending options. So I think that the person that says, okay, you're going to fucking chicken, you're going to reverse this shit, so I'm going to protect myself by chickening it, I feel like that person should be rewarded at least with frame data or knockdown. Maybe not 100 points damage, but doing a chicken, to me, has always been something that makes the crowd go, damn, like, don't even fucking try to do that shit. He's going to chicken your ass, I think that it should have better reward, personally. And these types of little things, they're not game changers. They're not like supers and armor moves. But these types of things, I think, are extremely important in the overall grand scheme of the game. What are your thoughts on that? Those are just 2 examples, and I'd like to hear your comments on both of those. So, what do you think, Rip, on the delayed hop kicks and the chicken idea?
I definitely, share the same thoughts about how the delayed hop kick whips. I mean, anything that's funky like that in Tekken needs to be fixed already. But going back to my first idea about that, the delayed hop kick should have a crazy ass spark and a zoom in and thing because it's huge. You know what I mean? It's
Sure.
super important, and it's not going to be as common as regular hop kicks or even generic down forward twos.
Yeah, I like that idea better, just because if the move has like, a big like effect to it, like Bruce's back two,
You're right,
a
yeah.
counter hit death fist, something. Those are the moves that are going to zoom in, which is Steve's back one, obviously. Just a hop kick is like, I don't think we need to zoom in on just.
We need a spark on it then. That's all I'm saying.
No, we don't need a spark. We don't need shit for it.
Anyways, let's see. So yeah, I shared the same thoughts about the delayed hop kick thing, and then the second thought was about what now?
Chickening and the reward for chickening.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think the reward could be bigger for sure. Like, I think I can agree with that. I feel like certain characters, especially like at a newbie level, they do rely on the counters. And if somebody knows how to chicken it every time, then there's nothing that counter is going to do for them. Like, that counter becomes absolutely useless almost, right? So, I mean, if they do buff chickening, I think the way you described it is correct. I think it should just be like some frame advantage or knockdown.
Right. I mean, or even maybe, what about if it gives you something like the reward for a low parry? Like, if you chicken, it puts them in a bound state. And then you continue a combo. I mean, it's like you're not going to get a shitload of damage, but you
That's
could make
too much for me.
you could turn it into something. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the thing is that we could watch literally 100 matches and never see a chicken. So this change is not going to be like a big deal. It's going to be a tiny, tiny deal. You'll see 100 low parries before you see a chicken. So it's very rare, but I just think that considering how much oohs and ahs it brings to the match, it really should have some better reward, or at the very least, a more appealing aesthetic reward. Like, damn, dude! Like, it already says fucking chicken. That's just tight when it says chicken.
How many characters even have a counter?
A
'Cause
shitload.
I can only count like 4 or 5.
No, there's a million. There's
Really?
like a ton, yeah.
I'm thinking Paul, June, Asuka, Nina. That's
Yeah.
4.
Devil Jin.
Anna, fucking Dragonoff, fucking I
Fang.
don't know. There's Fang's only punches. That doesn't count because they're not even chickenable.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Wang has traditional reversals. There's a lot. We're missing a ton. I'm sure the chat will be like,
Okay.
you idiots forgot these, you forgot those. But as far as generic, as in can reverse all the limbs, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and it's chickenable, there's definitely a grip. I mean, a big handful of characters can do it. That's it? Did you are you still trying to think of more characters that can do it? Because I kind of
I'm looking at the chat now too, and I think there's only 8.
Marduk doesn't count. A minute ago, you
The
thought there was
cheaper
only 4.
Yeah,
Sagat.
well, I mean, gotta go just Sagat.
Leo doesn't have 4 limbs, I don't think.
A lot of them
Does she?
have like Sabaki type parries, or
Right,
or-
that's not what I'm talking about. I'm
Right.
talking about back
The
2 plus
cheaper ones,
4
right.
or back 1 plus 3, and not just those, because some characters like King and Armor King have those, but those don't reverse every limb.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, no, I think that's okay then, because I was thinking like some characters really rely on it, especially at a newbie level, which is like obviously Asuka, because she can hold hers. And,
well, yeah, Asuka and Jun, that's another 2 right there.
I thought I said those ones, but okay.
Oh, did you?
Those
Sorry, I
are, those
wasn't
are the
paying
first
attention.
2 he said.
Yeah.
Okay. There's also Asuka and Jun.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Those ones are that makes the count really high now.
Yeah, it's getting crazy. You didn't think about all that.
Oh, another Asuka and Jun, that'd be crazy. Yeah, so yeah, I basically agreed with you. Not too much advantage. I don't like the bound idea out of it. I think it should just be like frame advantage or knockdown.
The funny thing is, this is something that I brought up to Harada and Michael Murray back in Tekken 6.
I remember.
I asked them what the deal is. I don't know. It was just all they had to tell me about that was the story of how chickens came to be. I guess initially in Tekken Tag 1, the idea of a chicken, right? The idea of the computer or the narrator or whatever saying chicken was supposed to happen when you fight like a bitch and win a bunch of times. Now, I don't know what dictated that, but the game had some method. Maybe you're spamming the same moves over and over or something, and that would give you a chicken icon. And that's when it's supposed to say chicken. However, it turned into a bug where, and this might have been in Tekken 3 actually, but where when you do the reversal to a reversal, which we now know as chicken, when you do that, it accidentally said chicken. And they were like, oh, fuck.
That was in Tekken 3.
Yeah, that was in Tekken 3. They were like, oh, fuck, that's an accident. We did not mean for it to say chicken at that time. Fuck it. People are calling it chickening. We'll
Yep.
just leave it in, you know? So they took that out in Tekken 6 console. It no longer said chicken on T6 console. But they fixed that in Tag 2. So I don't know if they thought I meant fix chicken as in they could say chicken again. But what I wanted them to do was to make chickens a little more rewarding because I like the idea. And I think, like I said, the oohs and ahs, people love chickens. It really makes you feel like a bitch when you tried to reverse and you got chicken. So I don't know. What do you think, Ricky? Delayed hop kicks and chickens.
The delayed hop kick one, I can agree with just because certain moves that you block that are like like fangs down back four or something.
Yeah.
They it's obviously a stagger block, right? And but they're so low to the ground that you have to and a delayed hop kick is so like the hitbox, even though it's a mid, it's a high mid. You know what I mean? Like so
Super high, yeah.
it's gonna whiff a lot. Like for any almost like every stagger low, like Laws, Dragon Tail, and shit like that. Like I'm sure that you'd have to dash up first and then do it. So I mean, yeah, if they made the mid more mid-like, I guess it would make more sense. But I mean, neither of my characters have delayed hop kicks, so I could care less.
Yeah, real smart. I like that attitude. Really thinking of
Does it help?
from,
If it
third
doesn't
person.
help or hurt me, fuck it. I don't care.
Okay, cool. Chicken
The
idea?
the chicken one, I guess for me, like I would want it to be more like a higher risk, higher reward type of thing. And then, so I thought about it, like maybe it should just be like say if you chicken something, if you chicken a counter, you should do your own countering animation and do the
Right.
same amount of damage, right?
Sure.
But then I thought about it and I was like, but countering is still has its risk. It's not a get out of jail card. It's like you still have there's elbows that you have to deal with. There's knees. There's lows. There's throws. You'll have to deal with all those things. The
Right.
only thing you can counter are just straight punches and kicks. So
Yeah. And you can't even counter all punches and kicks, like down jabs. You can't reverse down jabs and shit.
yeah. So I mean, I still think that the you should at least get something out of chicken other than what you get now, but at the same time, it still does enough for me. Like I feel like if I chicken something and you hear that motherfucker say chicken because you got your ass owned for
You're already winning. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's-
it's like even though it didn't do damage on the health bar,
Yeah.
you did damage in there.
Moral
with your heart.
damage. Definitely, for sure. And that's what I mean. Like, I think all Tekken players share that sentiment. Like, when you hit the chicken, it's like, get wrecked, bitch. And it's like, they could really go with that. That's one of the rare things in Tekken that really does that. It's like, damn, nice.
That's okay. No. Now to bring it back, all like when Rip said there needs to be more hit sparks and big ass things
Yeah.
to zoom in. That's what it just like. It should just do that little punch, but then that little punch zoom in,
Boom.
360 matrix around that shit, while you just yell at your opponent like "chicken motherfucker." And then
Yeah,
you sit
or
down.
what about if it's in slow mo and the announcer is also it's like slow mo. It's like a super and shit. I'm
Yeah,
down.
that's
You know,
what
dude,
needs to happen.
the more this conversation goes on, the more I don't want it to get buffed and damaged or knocked down anymore. I want it to be like doing nothing, just so that you just get that moral victory. Just
Damn.
like, I owned you.
It does no damage, no
Yeah.
frames, no nothing, but it slows down for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And you gotta wait. It becomes
You
a
even
waiting
give them health too while you're at it. Why not?
Damn.
You need this more than I do.
Yeah. You're gonna need this help more than I do, playa. Here you go. I like it. Okay, that's pretty good. It reminds me of Streets of Rage, where you break the garbage can and eat the chicken out of it, and then get fucking health back. All right. I like that. So
Well, I mean, that's where the sound came from at first. It was Tekken Force and Tekken 3.
is that true?
Yeah,
Yeah.
remember you there's chicken on the ground. You pick it up and the guy go chicken.
Well, but I mean,
That was
Tekken.
after.
Yeah, Tekken 3. That was the first game that had that. I guess that might have been a mistake too. Was that in Tekken 3?
It was
The
Tekken
chicken?
3, Tekken Force, yeah.
Tekken Force, I mean.
Yeah, Tekken Force was in Tekken 3. That was where
I
it started.
never played that game. I thought it was in Tekken 4. Tekken
4
Force
Tekken 4
wasn't
had
in Tekken 3.
No, it was. It was
Yeah,
in
it was.
both.
It was,
Tekken 3's
100%.
was a side scroller where you could move up and down on that isometric
Oh
field.
yeah, I
Tekken
remember
4's
that
was more
now.
3D. Yeah.
I remember that now. Yeah. Well, I never played any of those single player modes, so whatever. But the thing is that I really hope that the Tekken development team isn't focusing too much on adding things to their system as opposed to tweaking things that already are in the system, like delayed hop kicks, like chickens and stuff like that. I'm a little bit fearful that, you know, Harada or anyone who's involved with the development of the game and decision making might think like, all right, that shit was the way it was in, you know, Tekken 3 and Tekken 5 and Tekken 6, delayed hop kicks and chickens, and those games were really dope. So there's no need to fuck with that because it's already dope. I don't really love that idea, and I hope they don't focus too much on just adding more layers on this lasagna that's already so deep that people can't even finish the whole serving, you know? So I really hope that it's something they're looking into. They have a lot of cool features in this game and functions. Another one that I've talked about in the past that, you know, I've thrown around is, so we know that there are, the Tekken Tag 2 itself in practice mode gives you a clear indicator of whether or not the attack you did was a punish. So it'll say on the screen, punish, right? I like the idea of punishes giving more damage than non-punishes. So let's say you have King's back 1-2, and King's back 1-2 does 42 damage, but if you block a hop kick and do back 1-2, it does 50 damage or something, right? So these are numbers I'm throwing out in the air, but I like that idea because what it will do is it will make things like hop kicks, which already have a really unbalanced risk reward if you look at it, minus 13 versus something that's going to give you potentially more than 50% damage. If you did this would be a way to kind of balance things out a little bit because there are some very damaging 13 frame punishers. And if those punishers did more damage when they were used as a punisher, I think it would kind of overall homogenize the game in terms of risk and reward. There may be unforeseen consequences here, but these are ideas that I kind of hope that they're thinking about rather than only adding things like, you know, armor moves and then fuck it, more supers and whatever. You know, I just, there's a lot of features in the game that are good that I think can also be improved on, even though they're good. Your thoughts, anybody?
I think that idea makes it harder for new players.
I don't know, does it? I mean, I think that idea emphasizes to new players how important it is to do a punish.
But it's not something that they can visualize unless it just says punish really small on the side. It's still not going to be something that they're going to really notice, you know?
No, what I mean is, let's say this trailer we just watched, the Tekken 7 trailer, what if it said, boom, punish you? And then it said, like, it had a side-by-side showing the same thing. Someone blocks a hop kick and punishes, and then someone just does the move. And it's, like, clearly emphasizing, like, boom, this is how you want to do this move. It's extra damage. This is a reward for doing things correctly. You know, it's just a thought, you know.
That to me, like, makes sense in Tekken how we've known it in the past, but it also makes sense to me in the same way that, like, you know, they don't understand the game. That new players don't understand the game. Like, oh yeah, look, if you backdash like this, you'll go really far really fast, you know, and it's safe, you know, like, or if you do it the other way, you'll get fucked up, you know. But, like, people don't know that, you know.
This is an interesting topic because I feel like you are giving the quote-unquote new players, you're not giving them a lot of credit. And even though new players are kind of scrubby, I think that if you present something to them in the right way and explain it to them and emphasize the importance of it, and it's not absurd like Korean backdash, because expecting a new player to learn that is very, very, like, unrealistic. But emphasizing to a new player, like, listen, punishers in this game do an additional 15% damage. So when you block a hop kick, you might want to really consider doing this. You know, I don't know. It just, to me, I think a new player can wrap their head around that idea much better than movement.
The thing about this is, like, you're asking a new player to learn frame data and say, like, okay, here's my 10 frame punish, my 11 frame punish, my 12 frame punish, my 13, and my 15 frame punish. And these are the ones I need to do in these order. Like, they don't even know about frame data. How can you ask them to do so much?
Right, but if there's a visual indication on the screen saying, okay, this is a punish, not exactly like the way it is in the practice mode, not a word, but let's say a special effect or a spark, right? That will represent to them like, oh, this was a punish and it did extra damage. I don't need to know the frame data. I need to know that I blocked this and I did this and it did this effect. I mean, there are million Tekken players out there who play and are quite good and they know how to punish, but they don't know the frame data. I mean, Anakin himself has told me he barely started learning frame data at the end of Tekken 6, and he's been like a champion for years. So I don't think that's beyond the realm of comprehension for new players, especially, like I said, if it's presented in the right way.
Maybe.
You don't believe?
Don't believe.
Okay, fair
I
enough.
don't think Rip gives enough credit to new players. I think he's really thinking more so on the super casual level, and you know, those are the players that won't play in tournaments. So
I'm
you
saying
know,
at that level, when we're talking about what to add to Tekken, when Harada and them are looking at adding rage arts or power crush moves, and they're spending the time doing that instead of putting this kind of a feature in, like that makes sense to me. That's what I'm saying.
well, I don't think the punishing feature in my mind. I think it causes a little bit more imbalance with the cast, just because now it's either you have to give the majority of the cast now that was shitty 13 frame punishes a decent one at least, or else the characters like Kazuya or Devil Jin with crazy back 1-2s that already do tons of damage. Like now you have to give them something even more, because either way, if you give like a big counter hit boost to, or like just a boost in general for punishers, I think that it'll make some like a character, like obviously we already know, like in tag 2 at least, certain characters have better punishers than others, right?
Right.
No, there's like no question about it. You do that, it imbalances it in such a way where now this character who's already better at punishing than this character, now the difference is the gap is much bigger now.
Yeah, I think the good characters could get better, but I'm starting to think that balance to a certain degree is good, but once it becomes too balanced, it becomes not good again. And I think I've read articles about this idea in the past. I think one was written by Seth Killian. And, it mentions that a certain degree of imbalance in a fighting game is actually not a bad thing. And I can agree with that to some degree. So I think you're right, Ricky. I think it would change the dynamic overall. But I also at the same time think that in Tekken, every character has something. Like, it's very rare for a character to just be really weak at punishing in all 10, 11, 12, and 13 frame punishers. It's very rare. Every character has something that falls within that range. Even Oscar and Fang, and every character has something that falls underneath 13 frames that's decent. And the amount of imbalance that it causes could be there, but I don't know if it would necessarily be a bad thing, to be honest. So, I don't know. It's just an idea, and I think my overall point isn't questions, more that I hope they're not focusing too much on like things that don't even already exist. It's not personally when you make something, no matter what it is, you always think like, okay, that's really cool and people like it, but I could have done that better. It doesn't matter what you're doing, tutorial, whatever. I could have done that a little better, and I hope that a lot of the times these game developers are very prideful about their product, especially Japanese game developers, and they don't like to really admit to imperfection. And I really hope that they don't think like, oh, delayed hop kicks are already fucking perfect. Because they're not perfect, and there's situations where a delayed hop kick is really like amazing. Like, for example, when I was in Japan and I was doing Dragunov's 3-1, which is a mid-high with Dragunov, Furumizu was the first person on the whole planet, and I had played everyone, first person on the whole fucking planet that ducked and then delayed hop kicked the high. And my hands were just like, okay, this guy, he deserves for the screen to fucking zoom in and do slow motion because it was so awesome when he did that. And I think players should get rewarded for things like that. So, I don't know. It's just a thought. I hope they're really considering all this stuff when it comes to Tekken 7.
Well, I mean, the one thing about Tekken, like for a long time, like I just think about this now. It's like there's so much to the game that they can't get to every single aspect. Like I feel like there are definitely animations of King's multi throws that they never change because like there's that one where he does. You do the figure 4 leg lock, and then the opponent reverses it, right?
Turn it around, yeah.
And that that's not necessarily like you don't see that very often,
very
right?
Rare.
So they might not even notice that the animation when the guy's crawling out is like arm stiff and then just like
looks retarded.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know what he's talking about, King's down back 1+2, which is the figure 4 leg lock. The opponent has the opportunity to turn it around after it does the damage and do damage back to King. And the way you do that is 3+4, and I think it's only one frame that you have the opportunity to do it. So typically what people do is hold down one kick and mash the other kick. And right when he breaks your legs, you could turn him over. However, that's such an old reversal, I almost feel like they forgot it even exists. I don't know how making a new game works, especially when you're carrying over animations from the old game. But is it even possible that they just do it in terms of a file? Like they move a file over into Tekken 7 and don't even know that that animation is there? Or do you think that they literally fine-tooth comb every fucking animation in the game? I mean, I don't know. You would know more than me, right?
And even if they did that, they might just look at it and go like, well, it's not even that. You don't see it very often, anyways. Most people might not even know it exists.
Right, yeah.
So why spend the effort to change it? You know.
Yeah, I wonder if they even think, why did we put this shit in the game in the first place? Like, what the fuck? You know, it's so weird.
Which is also the reason why I'm thinking like the whole chickening aspect we're talking about is something that they probably just never even got to. You know, they probably
It's possible.
like the only thing they realized about chicken was like, oh, let's take out the sound. Oh wait, people like the sound. Let's put it back in.
Yeah, you're
rather
right.
than like going into it and thinking, oh, okay, now this kind of imbalance. Let's fix it. It's not even crucial to the gameplay for them at least. You know, so.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Go ahead, Rip.
With the size and scope of Tekken, I mean, it makes sense for them to carry over everything that they had before into the new game and then just call it, like, say you started developing right now Tekken 7 from Tekken Tech 2, you just move it over, you call it Tekken 7, and then you go and you start changing everything. You know what I mean? So they're going to have everything that they had before, and then they're going to, have a meeting or something to decide what do we want to change with what character, you know what I mean? Let's get that new animation for this character, for this move, and put that in instead. You know what I mean? It's like a case-by-case scenario after that. I'm pretty sure that's the way they would approach it.
Yeah, it makes sense. And there's going to be high priority things and there's going to be low priority things. And I can imagine the figure 4 leg lock as well as chickening and other things like that. Like I mentioned, you could watch even 500 matches of Tekken and not see a chicken. So it's pretty rare. And yeah, those things cost money and resources. You have to animate it. And if it's something that needs to be motion captured, you have to pay, lots of people. You got to pay an actor. You have to pay people to do it in the everything. It's pretty crazy. But I don't know. It's
just pay us half as much and we'll do it for them.
Yeah,
I'll do a lot of a figure 4 in pain.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. They should get Jaha to do the figure 4. That guy's a pro at that shit.
You won't let go though. You're like,
and then you'll do the reversal.
Yeah, man, just reach for his crotch. Boom, he runs off like a bitch every time. Every time. That is the escape. If Jaha is ever getting you in a figure 4 leg lock, that is the escape. You know what's so funny? Jom texted me a picture. I don't know who took the picture, but it's a picture of me sitting on a bed in Vegas at Evo. I'm sitting on the bed, and next to me in the bed is Jaha figure 4 leg locking Jom, and Jom is laughing his ass off, and I'm laughing my ass off. It's like the best picture. And you know what the funniest thing about it is that's right after he tried to figure 4 me, and I escaped. He was like, fuck this, I gotta figure 4 someone, and Eris knows the escape. Let me grab Jom. So it was a really good, man, that just makes me want to go to Evo. That's all that does. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, that's definitely an idea. Any other, go ahead.
No, I got one more idea about Tekken 7.
Sure.
Was that without your asking?
Yeah.
Okay, so the thing that's been bothering me about Tekken 7 is Power Crush moves, still, right? I mean, and based on this latest trailer, which is interesting, is that it looks to be exactly the same, even though they said they were going to change it. So I don't know if this is just like, this is just a marketing team. They had to put out a trailer at this date, so they did it or whatever, and so they haven't shown us the new version of it, whatever. But it was interesting because the trailer like shows you all the options from Power Crush and how to beat them too. So I thought that would be really bad marketing if they were going to change it, right? So it looks like it's staying the same as we saw it in the beta. Right?
Well, I don't think they were ever planning on changing that aspect of it. I think the rules were going to stay the same. The things that they were planning on changing were the damages and the frames and,
I see.
Yeah, that's the aspect that they said they were going to change.
I was hoping they were going to change the whole thing.
No, I don't think so. I think they're pretty firm on the whole armor moves and the lows and throws beating them and them being chargeable. It seems at this point they released the arcade trailer. I mean, that's like, hey, everybody, get ready. This is what's going to happen. So, I don't know. I'm sure they are tweaking the damages. They are tweaking the plus frames and minus frames. That's the stuff I anticipate them fixing.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure I'm not going to like the system. And I'm pretty confident about that. And the reason I'm not going to like it is because of hop kicks, right? And so I think if you're power crushing someone, the option to beat it is to go low or throw, and hop kick beats those options, then it's gonna be like hop kick or power crush. That's your guess. It's like rock paper scissors in a weird way, right?
Yeah, but hop kick is only I guess in a sense, yeah. Hop kick is gonna beat the low that beats the power crush. Okay.
And it's also gonna beat the throw.
Right.
So I don't like that idea necessarily, and so I think my idea that I had about that was that they should make all hop kicks knock down like every other character's vertical hop kick, where it just like knocks them far away.
Oh, that would be so great.
Right, and then I think that would also make Power Crush much more viable for me.
Oh my god. They're never going to do that.
I know.
They're
But
never going to do
That's
that.
how I would really like to see Power Crush implemented.
There are downsides. There are big downsides. If they made every up forward hop kick launch only on counter hit and made it knock down on regular hit, which would give you a wall splat, but with no wall, you get no combo. If they did that, I think moves like Lightning Screw and Orbital Heal would skyrocket into the cheapest shit on the planet. Because, I mean, it's just cheap if no one else could do it with a hop kick, you know? So, I don't know, maybe, I don't. It's a great idea. I've thought that for a long time, that hop kicks should require a counter hit to get a launcher, and on regular hit, they should act like neutral jump hop kicks. That is definitely one way to solve that imbalance of risk-reward, but yeah, there are unforeseen consequences. Similar to the whole idea of adding damage to punishes, the way Rixa said the balance would change. So, I don't know. I'm just, I don't really hate the Power Crush idea. It seems like you really don't like that idea.
I don't like the thought process involved in it. When I thought it through in the game when they first revealed it, and it was the same thing. It was just like, end of round situation. I have a Rage Art and I have a Power Crush. You know what I mean? And this guy's gonna be scared to attack me because I have these options basically.
Right.
So, that's been like a concern of mine since they revealed it. And so now that I'm realizing that, as you just said, they're probably not going to change it. They're just probably going to change the properties with damage and frame data associated with it.
Yeah.
That's a little bit more scary for me. So, we'll see what happens.
Okay, fair enough. I'm equally excited as I was last week about the game. I love talking about it. I can't wait. Every time I play Tekken Tag 2, the one thing on my mind is I cannot fucking wait for Tekken 7. Every time. So I'm super excited, man. Tekken 7 is going to be tight. Anything else on that issue, and we can move on to the Super Arcade Watson Valle topic?
No, not me.
Fair enough. Okay. So, other news that's been going on this week. This was, like, a huge shocker to me when I heard about it. But Alex Valle and Level Up have parted ways with Super Dojo and Michael Watson. Now, they've parted ways in a very official and, business sense, but they're still totally cool, and Valle is allegedly still going to attend, the tournaments that Watson throws at Super Arcade. There's still going to be tournaments on Wednesdays and Thursdays at Super Arcade, and really, the details between what goes on between these guys and their, all the details with Mr. Wizard involved and everything, I don't even give a fuck. That's like high school, playground types of shit. Are there playgrounds in high school? I don't know. I didn't go very long. And I feel like
You have jungle gyms and
I don't
monkey
know.
bars
I
in
don't
high
remember.
school.
I don't remember. But the point is, what really matters to me is that there's still going to be tournaments happening. There's still going to be people coming together to play fighting games at Super Arcade, and there's going to be a stream. Now, for you guys, the stream is now going to be on Super Dojo. So if you're interested in watching the Wednesday night and Thursday night tournaments, as well as the Sunday Smash Brothers tournaments at Super Dojo, that's where you're going to be able to watch those tournaments. Because Alex Valle has separated in terms of business with Watson, you're not going to watch Wednesday night fights on Level Up anymore. As far as I know, Valle and the whole Level Up gang are no longer going to do weeklies, and they're going to focus more on majors, and I think Valle is going to do his house stream, and that's how that's going to continue. So, again, those of you who are interested in watching Wednesday night fights, it's not canceled, it's not going to stop, it's just going to move over to Super Dojo. And for those of you who are Tekken fans, there is something interesting here, because yesterday was the first, they're calling it Wednesday Night Fizzites. I think it's the stupidest fucking name ever, but whatever.
I like it because you dislike it.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people like it because I dislike it, but I dislike it. And, anyway, the point is that they showed top 3 for Tekken, and it's probably going to happen way more frequently because, Watson now has full control of the stream. It's not necessarily all about sponsors and stream numbers and, stuff like that. Alienware.
Those things.
So,
BenQ.
BenQ and all that
those
stuff.
things.
Exactly. It's not all about fucking those things anymore. Now, it's, it's more about the games, which is a good thing. Because last night, for example, we got to watch Tekken, and after that, they showed Super Turbo. And why not? I mean, you have a stream, you have a tournament, it's going on at your venue, and though most people want to watch Street Fighter 4, I myself really like Street Fighter 4. I'm playing it, I'm watching it, but I still want to see Super Turbo, and I still want to see Tekken. So this could be like Charles made the joke that Watson's like a Beverly Hillbilly, like he's shooting for food, and up from the ground came a bubbling crude. You know, like
What?
Watson, he's just opening his big mouth, shooting guns in the air like Yosemite Sam. But who knows? Maybe he's gonna strike oil here, and his stream that puts more emphasis on maybe other games and stuff like that. He could, hit some Texas tea. So either way, like I said, I don't want to get too involved with the drama involved and all that Mr. Wizard nonsense. All I care about is games, and all I care about is people able to watch the games. So that's going to continue. Any thoughts on this issue, Rixta or Rip?
The one thing I noticed was R Kappa, Reddit Kappa. They were like, "Hey, Watts, good job." Like they seem to enjoy the stream more genuinely, just because. I guess I don't know if the Street Fighter 4 commentators were good or not because I wasn't listening, but it seemed like people just weren't as down on them as they usually are. So that's good. Maybe the fact that they're not they don't have to be so esportsy now that they can do whatever. Maybe they're actually funny guys, and maybe they're actually entertaining when they're just allowed to be.
Yeah, that's definitely a good observation. I think naturally fighting game fans who are being very organic, like crowd members and people who are getting hype, I think they're entertaining to watch. I think crowds are entertaining in the scene. And if you let the commentator kind of be themselves and restrict them a little bit less, they don't need to go talking all this shit, but restrict them a little bit less, let them not have to worry about the occasional fuck or the occasional shit, It really makes for a more smooth and a nicer sounding commentary to the ear, because there are some people that do commentary that are cool people, but their commentary is really butt cheeks, like for example Vic the Slick. I like Vic the Slick a lot. He's a cool guy. I've kicked it with him for endless hours at the arcade, but that guy's commentary drives me crazy, because he's got the what do we have for him, Johnny? He's got that whole kind of like esports like fake thing going on, and that's cool. A lot of people do that, but it really, I don't know, it's not fun to hear. It's not fun. That's the word. It's kind of, you can hear it and it's like, all right, I'll listen to that while watching, but I don't know. It's not fun. And I think you have a point there, Ricky. It's a little more fun when people are kind of chilling and just talking shit and enjoying the match themselves. Your thoughts on the whole thing, Rip?
No thoughts.
I mean, you don't have any opinion on the move, how it could change the scene? What are we going to see? Because, I mean, dude, Tekken's going to be shown, I presume. It could entice more people to enter.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool that it's coming back. I mean, they were trying to do it before with Level Up Live as well. With top threes, it was just the timing just never really worked out, and I think they didn't want to interrupt the Street Fighter tournament. So if they're actually going to interrupt the Street Fighter tournament again, like they used to for Tekken, then that could be cool. I mean, it would be also cool if they would show even just the beginning of Tekken sometimes. I don't know if people would do that, but that would also be interesting.
I think the concept is not unheard of, because I think at this point, I think Valle, he has a business to run, and Alienware and the hype and Ultra, and I mean, it wasn't something that he necessarily wanted to interrupt, but Watson doesn't give a flying fuck about anything. His just mouth is open, wide open. Hot wings go in, bullshit comes out. So I mean, it's like, whatever, man. Maybe we'll get to see more Tekken. Maybe either way, like I said, I don't give a fuck about the drama. I really hate that whole aspect of this thing, because I like Mr. Wizard very much. I like Valle very much, and I like Watson very much. I talk a lot of shit to, Watson all the time for being fat, and, Valle for being weird and old and always touching you longer than you want him to and stuff. But, they're great guys. These guys are like my brothers and shit, and when they squabble amongst each other, it's kind of like, mom and dad are fighting. I don't like that shit. So,
you ignored Wizard on Twitch.
That's, what I found out? I asked Vic the Slick. I have like 25 or 30 people accidentally ignored in my chat, and apparently it has to do with a bot that I activated like 2 years ago and never used, and the bot's like fucking everything up. So I'm going to get that fixed. Internet, those of you out there who are, pissed because I've ignored you in my chat, I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna get it fixed. Vic the Slick, he's gonna hook it up. Also, speaking of Vic the Slick hooking it up, a word on the street is that he gave Watson Super Dojo, the channel, a subscribe button in like 5 minutes with one phone
Sweet.
call. So that's really cool of him. I think that's a really nice gesture.
Where's
And I
my
think
subscriber button?
hit up Vic the Slick and
Hit
get
up Vic the Slick?
Yeah, exactly. Hit him up, playa.
Okay.
And, go over under his desk over at Twitch headquarters and hook him up, and maybe we'll get one.
Suck. God.
Oh man, you know what song I should have used for the intro of the
Oh,
show
God.
today? The fucking Johnny Cage song. That's the song I should have used. Maybe I'll do that next week. Anyway, okay,
That
so
song
that's,
sucks. I hate
song's-
that song.
That song's so tight. You can
And that
really
song-
tell in your voice how much I owned you.
You know, I think honestly that was the last time I was ever at Insomnotex's, his parents' house. That's when that was the day that we recorded that.
Yeah.
Because that was the day after Eris fucked me up in Mortal Kombat. I think that might have been the last time I was ever there, so I have a really bad memory of Charles's house now because that was the last moment I've ever had in there.
I'm definitely gonna use that song for the intro of the podcast next week.
I'm not.
for
I'm
sure.
not. I'm not. Come on next week.
Well, there will be a small handful of celebrations next week then. Anyway, okay. So do we have? Let's do bitch callings. I'm ready.
I'm just looking at Rip. I'm
I
ready.
got it. I
Okay.
got it.
Okay,
I
go
got
ahead.
All right. Just frame James as a bitch. For all of those billion dropped bootleg wannabe setup combos he did last night that led to absolutely nothing. Like if his ratio of hitting these setups was anything above 20%, he might have a chance of winning with them. But realistically, like the percentage of him hitting it is like 20%. Like I'm not even exaggerating there, I don't think. So yeah, I mean he's the one guy I was telling Ricky, like, after the tournament went up to him, I was like, man, you suck. But what I should have said was like, he's the guy who sucks, who shouldn't suck, So James, you should be winning, and you need to stop doing those bootleg setups. Just do a simple combo. All Zombie Doc did was really normal, basic combos, and he killed you with them.
And
you
down
went-
jabbed the fuck out of him.
yeah.
Down
Work the
jabbed,
fight.
boom, nonstop. That was crazy. And something I have to add about the James being a bitch thing. The thing that makes James a bitch to me is that he has the fucking nerve to, after he loses to Zombie Dog, he has the fucking nerve to put his head in his hands and fucking, like, how could this happen? I was doing such good combos and I was doing such good. Fuck you, man. What are you upset about? You killed yourself the whole time. You spun every time. You fucked up every combo. You don't have the right to put your head in your hands. Your head is already in your fucking ass. What are you doing with these combos? I totally agree with you. James is a really good player, but he is just a numbskull when it comes to his decision making sometimes. He didn't even know he lost. Again? Remember Majin at SCR? He lost count?
God.
This happened to James. He lost count of the games against Lil Majin at SCR. He fucking lost count of the games against Zombie Cops. I mean, I can't believe James sometimes. I can't believe him.
There was
You're
another
going
time
to hell,
too, where-
man. Fuck you.
There was
dude.
another time too. He was playing against Seo in grand finals, and both of them, like James, ended up winning the set, right, 2-1. Both of them thought it was tied 1-1, and then they played another game for whatever fucking reason. There was no reason to play it because James has already won. Oh no, wait, no, it was the reverse actually. James thought he won, but
That's
it
what
was
I'm
still
saying,
1-1.
dude. What do we need to have, an abacus or something for these players? It's 2 out of 3. Just fucking count and don't do dumb shit. And if you do dumb shit, fair enough. You have every right. But don't even dare putting your fucking head in your hands after you lose. You did it to yourself. Anyway, who's your bitch calling, Ricky?
Well, both me and Rip agreed though that when Tekken 7 comes and James cannot play Yoshimitsu anymore, he'll be better.
Okay. Yeah, that's true.
Yoshimitsu is like the bad girlfriend that has been ruining.
He's the devil on James's shoulder. Law is the angel, and Yoshi's like, let me just fucking kill you, James. Let me kill you. Yeah, I agree.
Do the setup, James.
Do the setup. Remember the setup? Spent 18 hours doing it. Do the setup.
It'll work this time.
Yeah, I promise. Forget about how many games you already won, buddy. Just do the setup. Fucking
You don't
asshole.
even know how many games.
Yeah,
You don't even know the score anymore.
Fuck
Who
the
cares?
score. Who cares?
I think we won.
You already won, man. Just do the setup. Ugh, drives me crazy.
Alright.
Oh shit!
My
I think
bitch-
the chat broke. How the hell did
chat?
that happen?
Well, your chat broke. My chat's
Oh
still
my
going.
god.
No. Oh well, no chat for the rest of the show. Sorry, internet. I don't know how to fix it.
All right, so my bitch calling is 2 weeks late, but it's gonna be JT Chinoy for Master Cup, and the reason being was, you know how they have the wild card section, right? So JT Chinoy, I assume, played the entire way for his team, and they got to the final four, which is super impressive. You know, it's good, and everyone in America was cheering for him because he was the only American player we
Yeah,
knew.
I noticed that. I think.
And so, that
sorry
was
to interrupt,
disgusting.
but Jimmy mentioned I've never seen anyone cheer this much for JT Chinoy.
Yeah,
Anyway,
we
go
were
on.
all disgusted
Yeah.
with ourselves, but we still cheered because
Yeah.
he's an American, right? Then he has to play this guy named Shauna. And then we all notice something that it's not him playing, but it's String Bean playing him. And so I'm like, wait, I don't even know if that's part of the rules. I didn't think you could switch characters or players, but that's beside the point. The fact is that Jimmy said he told me that JT always loses to Shauna, and he did not want to play him. And to me, that's like, just play him, dude. What the hell's wrong with you? You did so well. You got all the way to the final four, and then you look and you see your opponent is some guy that you've played a bunch, and maybe you've never beaten him. But it's like he looks at that and thinks, I already lost, and like that makes me mad because like I'm the kind of person that anytime I play anyone that I've always lost in tournament, I never look at the past records and think, oh
Yeah.
man, I'm 0-25. I sit down and I look at James and I'm like, it's 0-0. Let's play.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't give a shit what the past record is. I don't give a shit what the future record is.
Yeah.
All I can know right now, it's 0-0. And that's my attitude, and I thought that should have been JT's attitude, but he went into it looking like, oh God, String Bean, save me. And it didn't even work. String Bean lost, which, I honestly felt like JT probably would done much better just because he's played against Shauna a bunch,
Yeah.
So
It's one game.
One
yeah,
game,
exactly.
I know.
It's one game, just 3 rounds. That's all you have to do. You can't tell me you've never beaten him 3 rounds total.
Yeah.
Like,
Just put them
come on.
together, dude.
Just put them together.
Yep.
Just link them together 3 times. That's it. So JT, you're a bitch. You should have played, but whatever. Suck a dick.
Damn, that's funny because that reminds me of that. Remember that tournament that was in that airplane hangar out in Eurohood, Ricky?
Mhm.
That
Triple
tournament.
threat.
Yeah. At that tournament, this was in Tekken 6. Kane, Derek had to play against Ricky Ortiz in the bracket, and I was talking to Kane about his match, and Kane was like, "I can't beat Ricky. I can't. It's Jack. I can't beat him. There's no way I'm gonna beat him." I couldn't believe that I was talking to this guy who's been playing fighting games since like ages ago. This guy has this attitude going into the match. So I wasn't going to call Kane a bitch, but that reminded me Kane has been a bitch since that day. Since they was born, actually. So Kane's definitely a bitch. I was going to call Bushin Style a bitch because I spent all this time calling this guy a legend, and he ended up doing a money match with Mark Teddy, and he got wrecked so hard that I don't even think I can joke about him being a legend anymore. Did you watch that, Ricky?
I was watching. And
I suggest everyone in the chat who's mildly interested in Street Fighter 4, check out this money match between Mark Teddy. Go ahead.
If you're mildly interested in someone
Getting wrecked.
mad at someone yelling at someone else over a
Dude,
video game.
okay, so Bushin Style, let me just paint you a picture of what's going on here. Bushin Style is this weird dude who plays a guy and he raps and stuff, and he also does handshakes like this. But he's really into the game, and, whatever, he's a dude. I guess he talked a lot of shit to Mark Teddy, who is a very well-known, established guy player in Street Fighter 4 and quite skilled. Very, very good player. He talked a ton of shit to this guy, the kind of shit that's like, wow, why are you even talking this shit? You're not really that good. And he called him out for a $40 money match. And they started playing, and let me tell you, Mark Teddy is just like, the other guy's wearing headphones. He's basically getting him to take off his headphones during the match so he could say, "You fucking suck, dog. You fucking suck. Take the headphones off. So let me tell you, you fucking suck. All right, put them back on. Let me beat your ass right now." I mean, this is what happened during that match. It's very rare to see that kind of anger, especially coming out of Mark Teddy. He's a very, very mild-mannered, nice guy and really skilled. But this guy was just fucking ruining this guy's butthole so bad. His face was just like, he couldn't even believe it. He was just like stunned, you know. So I highly recommend it. And you know, Bushin Style, I've called you a legend many times. If you're gonna get your butt ruined like that, you're going straight from legend to bitch, playa. One end of the spectrum to the other. That's the way.
He only won 1 round in those 5 games.
Dude, it took 8 fucking minutes for this guy to beat him 5 times and take $40 from him, which he didn't even have. He called him out and he didn't even have the fucking 40. He came up with the number too. Oh, very, very wacky. People like this exist. What are you gonna do?
Wow.
The one thing I heard him say as soon as he was walking out too, he was wrapping up his controller. He says, "I don't ever want to come back here."
Who said that?
Bushin Style.
Wow. I hope that's not true. Bushin Style, don't be that level of a bitch. I don't ever want to come back here. Damn, Mark did fuck him up that bad though. I don't know. I'd consider that. I mean, he's on Harry Kiri watch. People should be watching out for that guy. I don't know who knows him, but that was a beatdown. Anyway, fuck all those people that we just mentioned. I like that. What do you think? Let's plug our shit. Go ahead. You go first, Ricky, because I always cut you off. So you go first.
Are you gonna cut me off?
No, I promise. You have my word. Feel free to plug all your channels and your Twitter.
Follow me on Twitter, Twitch at RicksDZ 3Es. Eris hosted me once. Thank you, by the way. I got like 100 people watching me during that time.
Everybody
that was fun.
Make sure
It
you
was
check
sick,
him out.
dude. The soundboard.
Yeah, I had a soundboard.
Definitely.
That was funny. I kept putting Eris's noises in there, and then DMX noises. I need to add more noises. So watch me put more noises into my soundboard.
You should definitely stream more. I think you have a very entertaining stream, especially your choice in music and also the random combo videos and stuff. I like it. You're a bitch, but I like it.
Thank you.
And also Rick Steezy 3Es on Twitter, am I right?
Mm-hmm.
So make that happen, internet. Go ahead, Rip.
You guys can catch me streaming. I'm back streaming again on twitch.tv/levelupyourgame. Twitter's REEPAL. And the YouTube channel's kind of dead, but stuff will come. YouTube.com/levelupyourgame.
You have any plans for anything coming up? Either of you? We're doing
Japan?
Oh, that kind of plan.
Oh, you got a plan too?
Don't we got a plan?
I don't have a plan.
I had a good plan, but I didn't tell you guys last night. I meant to tell you guys.
Okay, tell me after the show.
Yeah, after the show.
Is it a secret? You have a very mischievous look on your face. Either that or you're giving me
Are
the
you
baby
doing
eyes.
this thing? Get really close to the camera and then but with the tilted head like this.
Yeah, I don't like that shit one bit. Shit's gross. Hey, you know the picture that comes on Charles's stream when he turns it off? It's a picture of his back and Bino's in it and you're in it, Rip.
Al,
Oh, yeah, I look all
Al's in it
stupid
too.
in that one.
In that picture, someone in the chat room said you look like E.T. And man, it is fucking perfect. You look just like E.T. in that fucking
Yeah,
picture.
I look good in that picture.
Elliot.
That's from that Tekken 6 launch party, I think. No.
I think it's
Or
Evo.
Active Gamers Triple Threat or something. No. Look at the venue. It's like Active Gamers Triple Threat or something.
Well, I don't know what it is, but whatever. Are you going to stream later on tonight? Any of
Yeah.
you?
I'm going to turn on my PS4 and see if it's working.
Great. So you are going to stream something.
Yeah.
And you, Ricky?
What game
anything?
are you gonna stream? Oh, I'm not gonna
I'm
stream
gonna
tonight.
try out Destiny.
I'm gonna watch Rip's PS4 break on stream and
Yeah,
laugh.
if the PS4 breaks, I'll stream Tekken. But
Excellent.
otherwise, I'll try Destiny.
Okay, make sure you guys check that out. Rip's going to be streaming later. I probably will be streaming probably later than him, later this evening. I don't know. Did we miss anything, or can we wrap this shit up? I'm waiting for one of you guys to open your mouth so I could cut it off. These guys have gotten really good. These guys have gotten really good at defending against my cutoff.
Parrying that shit.
Damn. Man, fuck you guys, dude. All right. See you later, internet.